It's Monday, February 13th. This is a pre-opening SPY report, and for this week, this is kind of a key inflection point in the market. This is the daily chart at the moment, and our pre-market range is skewing a little to the upside, although we're kind of coming off of that with about a half hour to go to the open. But in terms of the inflection point, what I mean is on the weekly chart here, you can see price did come up and take out a key liquidity area, and then we paused last week with a big inside bar, skewing a little bit red. And this inside bar could mean, either it's a pause area, which makes sense when you take out liquidity. Then the question is, are you continue higher, or is this going to be a failure area to broaden out lower? And if we broaden out lower, taking out the low of the weekly bar, you can see it's like a pivot machine gun to really build up a lot of momentum to the downside, possibly. So this is a key inflection point in the bigger picture. Now, the question is, the other thing too, when I see an inside bar, is that we could fail, with breakouts. So if we come to the downside, even though it looks like there's a lot of potential ahead lower, you could immediately fail and then start up through the range to the upside. And if we go to the upside, you could also fail there and come back to the downside. So any breakout of this bar, you're going to have to see if it, you're going to have to monitor that if it continues or fails. So then what gets interesting is that today is actually an actionable buy signal on the daily chart. And it looks like we're going to kind of trigger that at the opening, given the market is kind of above the high of Friday. So you get the 2 down, 2 up buy signal, but it's a tricky buy signal in terms of this big red bar, calling that like a mother bar that you're going to have to, if you're going to get that buy signal, you would target up there as your target. And it's tricky with that kind of a bar to know if you're going to really have a lot of momentum to the upside to reach there either today or in kind of a compound fashion in the days ahead for the week to reach up to that target. So any 2 up buy today that fails, that'll be to me an exciting trigger to then get short and then, have the projection to take out that weekly low and then see if we get the momentum to the downside. And you can fail here in one of two ways, the way I see it. Either today, you're going to get that up opening above the high, but then it's going to come down through the pre-market low, which would be close to the midway point of that bar. That's kind of a 50% rule failure, which will kind of trigger down here, will target down here to the low of Friday. And you can see here, that's the yellow bar. That's the open of the month. That's going to turn the month red. That's going to trigger that weekly down signal. So any failure today on this up opening that comes below the pre-market low, that's pretty aggressive short. Another aggressive short would be tomorrow. Let's say you get up today and we kind of go up, but we can't really follow through to that target in the either Tuesday or the days ahead, and then you get a 2 up, 2 down bar. That'll also be a great trigger to get short, target this, low eventually, which again triggers the monthly, chart turning red, and the weekly chart, the inside bar to the downside, to see if we get, a major follow through. So you kind of have the weekly inside bar that you're really monitoring. We got to get out of that one way or the other and see if that either continues or fails. It's a key inflection point in the market in the big picture. And then you got the weekly the daily buy signal today, which has a tough time really reaching its target. You can go with it, but be very careful in case it doesn't, and be aggressive if it fails to the downside, because that'll be kind of a domino effect to kind of set off some some triggers to the downside. So let's see what happens today. A key inflection point, interesting, week that really lies ahead in terms of where the market may be heading for a while now, either up or down.